Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to do a top 10 under 10 video. So these are 10 products that are under $10 that I think are so freaking amazing that y'all need to definitely try them out. Now, not all of these are necessarily drugstore. They're not going to be something you can find at Walmart or Walgreens or CVS specifically. Some of them are more like online only or something like that. So just keep that in mind. I'm not saying these are drugstore. I'm just saying they are affordable and under $10. Now, some of these I have talked a lot about. Some of them are fairly new to me, and some of them are ones that have been favorites of mine for a really long time that I haven't talked about in months, if not more than a year. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. So starting off with the obvious one is foundation, and the one that I had to mention because it's kind of something that I recently fell back in love with. It is the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation. This is such a good foundation. If you've been around for a while, you probably remember me talking about this and how I always had the wrong shade and I kept meaning to pick up a new one, but I never picked up a new one. Well, finally, I picked up a new one. So I have mine in the shade Light Ivory, which I'm fairly certain is the lightest shade that they have now. It's been a while since I looked at their chart online, but Light Ivory, it is a pretty good shade match for me. It may be a hair dark, but it's light enough that I can definitely make it work and I'm not worried about it. This is the shade that I'm going to stick with. I don't know what's happened to my throat right now. Well, I filmed one video. So this foundation is really, really great because it's not glowy, but it's not matte. It's just a really nice satin, healthy look to your skin. It's basically full coverage, honestly. It's like really, really, really high medium coverage. You can definitely like build it up and then spot conceal and have a great full coverage base. It lasts all day long. It doesn't break up. It doesn't look heavy on me ever. It just looks beautiful, healthy, and natural, but also covers up all your imperfections and makes you just look flawless, as the name would suggest. So this is just one of my favorite foundations. Even when I had a shade that was way too dark for me, I still wore it on a very regular basis because I just didn't care. I loved the way it made my skin look, so I just had on a too dark foundation, which I'm pretty sure we've all done at some point just because we love a foundation. But yeah, this foundation is just one of the best, and it's e.l.f. so it's super affordable but still bomb, and the packaging is really, really nice. It's a nice frosted glass bottle with a pump and everything. It's so good, and for the price point, I'm pretty sure this is like $6. You can't beat it. The next one is something that you're always going to hear me rave about. It's the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. This concealer is just the best. It really is just the best concealer, especially for the drugstore, but I mean in general it's probably my top 3 concealers. It is bomb coverage. It's not full coverage, but it's definitely like medium coverage. It covers up all your imperfections. But what I love most about this is it is so smoothing. Something that I never thought I would say about a concealer is it smooths out imperfections, which is insane. It literally makes my under eye look so smooth and flawless and just airbrush. It makes me look like I don't have fine lines, like I don't have acne, like I don't have pores. When I put this on my nose, this is the only concealer that I use on my nose because it just makes it look so smooth and flawless. It doesn't hang on to the peach fuzz. It doesn't sink into my pores. It just looks amazing. It's crazy. Like, I've never felt such things about a concealer than I do about this. Like, this one, it holds my heart forever. Like, there are other ones that I will rave about all day long, but I still go back to this one because it is the best concealer. It just is. So something that is kind of fairly new to me, but I still have to say is probably one of my favorite makeup tools ever, is the Juno sponge. This sponge took me by surprise, honestly. I thought I was going to hate it. I thought it was going to be weird and gimmicky and wasn't going to do anything besides be a normal sponge. But boy, was I wrong. This is not a normal sponge. It is so much drier than a normal sponge because it's literally microfiber velvet. It feels so weird. It gives me the heebie-jeebies every time I touch it. So if you're worried about textures, you're not gonna like this at all, but it applies foundation in a way that gives you the most coverage possible every single time. With normal sponges, you know, they hold a lot of that water, so it tends to dilute a foundation very, very quickly, and you end up with a lot less coverage than you would normally. But this one doesn't do that. It literally sits on top of the sponge, the foundation. It literally just sits right there, and the sponge just applies it. It doesn't mix it. It doesn't dilute it. Wow, I need to slow down. It just applies the foundation, and you end up with the most coverage possible. It is insane. I love it. It does great things for my makeup. I've said it before, this is the only sponge that I will use to apply my Too Faced multi-use sculpting concealer, because every other sponge that I've tried with that concealer makes it look horrendous, but this makes it just the most full coverage, flawless finish that I can't get enough of it. So this sponge is like the only thing that I reach for nowadays. So moving on to brows, this is a fairly recent find for me, and I just had to mention it because I've been reaching for it on a daily basis since the first time I tried it, and I can't get enough of it. It is the Joah Beauty Brow Down to Me Precision Brow Pencil. So they have a couple of different options that I went over in the review video for this brand, which I will link up in the cards here, but this is definitely the one that I favor. It's just the super skinny brow pencil. There is something about this. It is not super waxy, it's not super dry, it's not super creamy. It's very like in the middle, perfect mix, medium, everything, that it just smooths on. It's easy to blend out, but it doesn't really need to be blended out because it's not super pigmented, so you can kind of like lay down a line and it's just perfect. Like, you don't need to sit there and blend it out, you don't need to sit there and like mess with it, you don't have to sit there and scrape at your eyebrow to get color off. It has just been so quick and easy to get the perfect brow for me that I can't stop using it. I used it today. I just find it super easy to get into those like really small spaces to get the perfect arch and everything, and it just looks really, really great, and I've been loving it. So I would highly recommend this. It's one of the best drugstore brow pencils that I've ever tried, and it's the fact that it's so easy to work with is kind of like my point for this, because I have other ones that I find are really, really great, but they kind of take more effort and more work. This one just doesn't. So something that I don't normally talk about on my channel is eyeliner, because I don't know, I find it to be kind of a boring subject and I don't use eyeliner all that often anymore, but I have to say that the best eyeliner I have ever tried, drugstore, high-end, whatever, is this bad boy. This is the Revlon ColorStay 2-in-1 Angled Kajal eyeliner. It is the #1 best eyeliner I've ever tried, and I've tried a lot of them. I have probably 30 black eyeliners sitting in my drawer right now, and I still reach for this one. It's creamy, and it's easy to apply, and it lasts all day. It doesn't run, it doesn't have to be reapplied. I have really, really watery eyes, like, all day long, so I really need something that's gonna stick to my waterline and not budge no matter how watery my eyes get, no matter how I rub them or how itchy they get or anything like that, and this does that. It is still the #1 eyeliner that I reach for anytime I want to put any sort of eyeliner on. The only downside is that it only comes in 4 colors. I wish they had some more like bright, colorful, fun colors, but they don't. They only have black, a couple of different grays, and a green, which sucks, but still fantastic, and I would highly recommend you guys try them out. Plus, it's literally $7. Like, are you kidding me? Definitely. If you're looking for a good drugstore eyeliner, or a good eyeliner in general, definitely check this one out because it is just so good. Okay, so next up I have highlighter. This is one of my most reached for highlighters because not only is it blinding, it looks like it's coming from your skin, it looks wet on your skin, but it is so easy to apply. and that is the Colourpop Super Shock Highlighter. The only shade that I have is On the Cusp, which is from the Kathleen Lights collection, but I am definitely interested in trying out more because this formula is just great. It blends in the skin so easily. You can build it up to make it look so freaking intense. You can use your finger, but you can also use a brush, and the brush picks up just as much pigment as possible with your finger. It's just one of those really easy grab and go, just fluff it on and you're done kind of products. I normally shy away from cream products when I'm in a hurry, if I'm just heading out or anything like that, because they usually take more effort than they're worth, but not this one. This one, like I said, you can use it with a brush, and it really does just apply like a powder highlighter, but it doesn't pick up texture as much. It doesn't add more layers of powder, which I definitely have to be careful with peach fuzz and dryness and texture and all of that. This one just glides on the skin and makes it just look so beautiful. For blush, this was such an easy one. These Flower Beauty Flower Pots powder blushes are some of my favorites, honestly. I kind of went back and forth on which one I wanted to mention because there is another drugstore blush that I have raved about in literally every drugstore video ever. So I didn't want to mention those, but I had to mention these because I'm pretty sure I haven't mentioned these too much on my channel before. First of all, this shade in particular, which is Peach Primrose, is one of my favorite blushes. I love a good peach blush. It's definitely something that I've come to grow on. That I've come to fall in love with basically in the last like 6 months or so. It just looks so beautiful on the skin, and it gives such a beautiful warm something to the skin that I'm not used to, because most of my other blushes are, more of a cool tone, mauve-y, pinky type of look, but this is definitely something that stands out in my collection as different. But this formula is just something special, honestly. It's very, very soft and powdery. It's really easy to blend, and it never gets too much. I feel like no matter how much you pick up, you can't really end up looking like a clown because it just blends out really, really easily, and I love that. Anything that is kind of foolproof for me is something that I reach for and that I love. So for eyeshadows, this was such an easy one. It was insane. The Rimmel Magnif'eyes eyeshadow palettes are my favorite affordable drugstore whatever eyeshadow palettes. The formula on these is just mind-blowing. Like, there are other drugstore palettes that I love, but they're all closer to like the $20 range. These are $7. First of all, look at how many shades you get in these. These are massive palettes for $7, and the formula is just crazy good. It's soft and pigmented and easy to blend. It never gets patchy or stuck or anything. The shimmers are intense as hell. The only thing I would say with these is that some of the shades tend to show up on the eyes a little lighter or brighter than they do in the pan. So there are some shades that, like this one right here, this little dark pink, I would normally think to put that like in my crease, but it doesn't add as much depth as you would think from the pan because it turns out just a touch brighter than you would expect. But other than that, this formula is just so good, and for $7, like, you can't beat it, honestly. It's insane to me that they actually sell these for $7. I think this one is definitely my favorite. This is the Spice Edition, which is supposed to be a dupe for the Urban Decay Naked Heat, and honestly, I prefer this one. This is just such a good palette. This shade in particular, this white shade, is so freaking delicious. The way that it turns any shade into looking wet and creamy and intense, it's insane. I've never seen anything like it. I put it over almost every shimmer that I put on my eye because it just gives it so much more dimension and creaminess. I've never seen anything like it, honestly. And finally, for lips, one product that is kind of odd to mention, but I had to mention it. It is the Sephora Coconut Lip Balm. This is like my new favorite lip balm, honestly. It's for lip balm, it's definitely a little overpriced, but it still is under the $10 range. So I figured I would mention it because it is, first of all, it smells amazing. It's coconut. It's delicious. I also really love the watermelon version, which has a slight pink tint to it, so it kind of gives you a little something extra on your lips. This one's just your plain white, but it is just so moisturizing and waxy, but not too waxy. It's very much like in the middle. It's not something that's like super, super waxy like a lot of cheap lip balms are, but it's not super like thick and oily like some others. It's a great lip balm. I'm not going to try to go into too much depth because, I mean, how much can you really say about a lip balm? But I've really been enjoying this. I own 3 of this formula and I just have them everywhere with me because I love it. But finally, for actual lipstick, this was another one that was so easy. Like, as soon as I opened my lipstick drawer, I was immediately like, yep, I know exactly what I'm mentioning. The Physicians Formula, the Healthy Lip, what is it called? Healthy Lip lipsticks, basically, are the best drugstore lipstick I've ever found. They are a liquid lipstick, but there's something so velvety and comfortable about them. They never dry down, they never crack, they last a ridiculous amount of time. They're so comfortable. I've never seen anything like it, honestly. That's apparently the theme of this. My 2 favorites are All Natural Nude and Fight Free Reticles because, I mean, nude is just like my perfect peachy nude, and then this is just a beautiful, bright red that looks gorgeous with any eye look. I love this lipstick. It's literally the only liquid lipstick that's still in my drawer because it's the only one I reach for, so I had to get rid of the rest. So definitely highly recommend these, especially if you can find them on a deal or something like that. That's the best way to do it, honestly. So those are all of the products that are under $10 that I think are bomb as hell. I hope you guys liked today's video. Let me know down below what some of your favorite drugstore products are. I would love to find some new ones. But other than that, I hope you guys will stick around, hit that subscribe button, and maybe check out some of my other videos. Bye!